Welcome to today's episode of Castle Kitchen, episode 5. We are making cornbread, and it's Mardi Gras week. I thought I would give you the awkward silence treatment. I don't know if this is too scary for any of you, but if you're having mild seizures right now, it must be a good thing. So prepare to make some cornbread. We're going to do it in a little bit of southern style. Something you can make as a snack for your Mardi Gras party if you haven't already. Alright, enough fooling around, or clowning around, or gesturing around. Let's get going and making our cornbread for today. And it's going to be quite as simple task as any.
Alright, what you're going to need to make cornbread is very simple. You're going to need 2 eggs, 6, well, actually I'm not going to get to that part yet. I can tell you a little bit more. This is just the ingredients part, so I almost got into telling you how much you're going to need. That's a later part. So anyway, animal fat, spinal fluid, Bermuda triangle salt, dragon bone powder, mice bone powder, human bone powder, pixie dust, and then cursed, yeah, it's basically cursed. I got this in Mexico, so cursed Aztec maize powder. So, yeah, not much else. I guess we're going to have to go on to the next part now and tell you how much of each of these we're going to need to mix in this little bowl here. And, yep, that's pretty much about it. So just go on to the next part. Bye. What are you looking at? Well, we're going to get to how much we're going to need of each of these ingredients now. So let's just get into it. We're going to need a cup of cursed Aztec maize. And then we're going to need a 3/4 cup of human bone powder. And then we're going to need about 1.5 teaspoons of mice bone powder. Oh, shut up. Of 1.5 teaspoons of mice bone powder. And then, hey, I told you to keep quiet. I'm gonna put you back in the dungeon. And then we're gonna need 1/2 teaspoon of dragon bone powder. And then we're going to need 1/4 teaspoon of the Bermuda triangle salt. And, oh yes, and we're going to need exactly about a tablespoon of the fairy dust. I almost said pixie dust. That's the wrong one, no? This is fairy dust. Gotta keep my ingredients straight. So anyway, a tablespoon of fairy dust. And that'll be pretty much about it. Hey, you're going back in the dungeon, alright? You hear me, mister? Oh, see. Now he's trying to be funny, huh? And then part 2, we're going to need our wet ingredients, which includes 2 chicken eggs, 6 tablespoons of animal fat, and we're going to need about 1.5 cups of spinal fluid. So let's get cracking and start mixing all this stuff together and make this cornbread. So we mixed all of our dries, and we're just going to give it a good little shake here. Sure everything's well blended. And there we go. Everything's pretty much blended. And now we're going to add our wets. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're just going to blend all this together now. Gonna kind of watch out for little clumps. Make sure you get all the little dry parts. See, now it's coming together pretty well, coming into this nice little paste. It's essentially where you want it, is this paste form. Have to make sure that that butter is well blended in there. Now you could melt the butter a little bit more if you want to, instead of just having a block like that where it's soft. You could make it into more liquid form. You either leave your butter out to have it more of that texture completely out and it'll melt, or to make it more into liquid form. You could put it into the microwave for about 10 seconds and it'll turn into liquid. You just gotta be careful not to put it in hot, because you don't want your liquids to curd, and also you don't want to cook your eggs. I did it this way so that way the butter is still cold or at room temperature. Alright, I'm pretty sure this is pretty well blended now. Got all our butter pretty well done in there. I don't think there's much of the butter stick, so it's all pretty well blended. Right now I'm just trying to go over it and make sure I got all these little clumps. Make sure there's no like leftover dries ingredients still in there that haven't been mixed properly. Alright, we got a glass tray here, and we're just gonna now just pour this in here. This would be great for later in the year if you want to use this recipe for Thanksgiving. You also make little cornbread sandwiches with this. There's really a lot of things you actually do with cornbread. And And since again today is Mardi Gras, and this is a staple of Southern cooking, maybe you could add a little Tabasco or jalapenos into this. Give it a little kick. You could make it, probably add it to your Mardi Gras meal if you're into celebrating Mardi Gras. Just trying to get all the last little bits in here. Alright, so just kind of smooth it out. And there we are. Let's go put this in the oven. Alright, you're going to want to put it in the background to bake. You want to set your temperature to 425. Let that get started. And then you're going to cook it for 23 minutes. And then you're gonna let it sit for about 10 minutes to cool afterwards. And that's pretty much about it. There's not much else to it. Simple cornbread. Again, you could add jalapenos or cheese to it, whatever you want. Make it festive. Go all crazy on this week of Mardi Gras. So, have at it. Alright, it looks like our oven's ready to go. So let's put in our cornbread. And we're going to put this on for the 23 minutes. There we are. Yay! Ooh, it's almost done. We're almost ready to inspect our cornbread. Should be coming out of the ovens just soon. They do say patience is a virtue, but I don't know if I could wait that long. Oh look, it's done. Let's check to see if it's finished. Got our handy toothpick right here. Give it a good prick. And voila, comes out clean. Now, I'm not going to take this out completely, but what I am going to do is I'm going to turn the oven back on. At the exact same temperature. And I'm just going to pull this out a little bit. See, it's a little white. What you want to do is you want to take that butter. You want to spread it on top. There we are. Slap that back in. Slide about, let's say, hey, there we go. Let's say about 3 additional minutes. The reason I say to add the butter on top is to give it that nice glossy look, that golden brown look. This may take a while. Now that our cornbread is done, and it's unmasked itself, let's unmask ourselves. Oh no, it's stuck! No, it's not. Haha. What? You didn't think I had this underneath that? Fooled you. So now let's go pull our cornbread out of our oven. voila, it's got a more golden color. Isn't that special or magical? And there we have it. Perfectly cooked cornbread, ready to be served at any given occasion. Again, as mentioned, you can make this into a sandwich. You could make this into pretty much anything. You could add it into a salad. You could add jalapeno. You could add cheese. You could do whatever you want. It's good any time of the year. Made it this week in the honor of Mardi Gras for Southern cooking. And that's pretty much about it. There's not much else to go into about this. Oh, I do want to mention that you didn't get to see it, but you have to, before you pour your batter in, you have to put at least some kind of lubricant, being like olive oil or butter, in your pan, so that way the bread doesn't stick to the pan and it comes out a lot easier. Otherwise, you're going to have a real serious mess with being stuck in there. But that's it. So we'll see you again next week. That week will be St. Paddy's Day, and we'll see what we'll do. Won't be Irish, unfortunately. That'll be saved for another episode at some other point. But you take care, and we'll see you again next week on Castle Kitchen. From your host and Chef the Phantom,